Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. I see the numbers are growing. In the meantime, please let us know if you can hear as well, if our internet connection is stable. I'm here today with Ran from our development team. Wow, I see a lot of people already. People from Finland, from Canada, Spain, Ecuador. Good morning, you guys. Brazil, Bungia. Wow, even Hawaii. Let us know if you can hear as well. Otherwise, you can look at the slides up there and try the step that we have set for you. Let us know if there's any delay or anything, and we're gonna allow a few minutes before we all start. Wow, we have a really a big crowd already, and like really worldwide. So I should be saying good evening, good morning, as we are located in different parts of the world. If your communities haven't joined yet, please share the link, the invite for them to join now. And remember that this webinar is being recorded. So for anyone who has any issues with good midnight, has any issues with in terms of the time zone, we will be sharing the recording later today. There's so many familiar faces and names. That's great. We have a great agenda for you guys today. I want to tell you in advance that Ran is a great expert in everything that has to do with the web version of Waze, the Livemap, and so many other features that he's going to be talking about today. We're going to wait one more minute before we get going. Erev Tov, Lori. Just while we wait, I want to remind everyone to leave your questions at the Q&A section up there. There's the general chat and there's the Q&A tab, which is dedicated for us to answer any questions that you guys have. We'll be really glad to have them. I'm joined today by some of our community managers that you know, and maybe you've noticed as well that we have a poll that Ran is gonna remind us later. But if you go to the poll section, so you have a small questionnaire about how much you use, how often you use our Livemap. So feel free before we start to choose what's best or what best relates to your use of the Livemap. This is great feedback for our developers and our developing teams. And I think that we are kind of ready to start. So before I leave the microphone to Ran, I want to remind everyone of our webinar etiquette. Let's be kind to each other. Let's be patient and avoid using hard language in the chat. Many of the participants of these webinars might be new and they're not used to hearing many of the terms that we generally mention here, and they might be asking some questions that are basic, but that's fine. The aim of these webinars is to share knowledge between all of us. So we definitely welcome all kind of questions. Like, again, reminded that we all started at some level, and we might see some questions that repeat themselves. Please, as I said, write all your topic-specific or all your questions that you want us to go over live at the Q&A section. We're going to try and do our best to answer all of the questions there. Reminding everyone that there is an upvote feature that brings questions up. That's fine if you want to use them, but please, please, please stop using the upvote when we start going, when we start reading the questions, because that really complicates things. There's no way for us to disable that feature, unfortunately. And finally, I would like to remind you all that once the webinar finishes, please to stay in the same tab, as we would really like to hear your opinion. And through a brief survey that will be prompted in your screen. So without further delay, I would like to introduce you guys to Ran, an amazing software developer that we have. Ran, it's all yours.
Thank you. I'm blushing. You don't see me, but I'm blushing. So thank you everyone for joining. It's really my pleasure to actually host, I think, 82 attendees, which is amazing. It's like a virtual community, which is amazing. So my name is Ran Davidovich, and I'm going to show you what is the web channel and actually what we do in my team specifically. What we are going to talk is about a couple of, actually 4 items. What we do in a very high level. I'm going to present you the team, some faces behind the scene that are doing all the amazing work. I want to share with you a few of the notable applications and features that we worked on, and leaving a lot of time for questions and answers, and hopefully I will be able to answer everything. And if anything I can't, we'll take offline and I'll give you an answer for everything, of course. So what do? We are doing a lot, but specifically in a very high level, we're focusing on several items. The first one is actually growth and marketing. When I'm saying growth, is actually finding ways to bring more and more people to the site and to the application also. In many ways, it can be by creating an amazing experience for the Livemap and indexing everything in Google, so that when you search something, you will find the Waze links, and you will go from there, maybe also to the application, to the site. My team is working very closely with marketing team. We own Waze.com, actually, the main marketing site, and all the sub-application, or most of them, actually, which means that the face of marketing is my team that actually doing the work, and a lot going on there. When we talk about the team, one of the things that very important to my team, and I think in general for Waze in the last year at least, is to create an omni-channel experience. And I'm not sure if you all know what it means, but in general, it means that we know that we have a lot of channels that we have interaction with the user, with you. For example, we have the application, the mobile application. We have the web channel, which is the site. We have several applications there, which I'll show you. We also have emails. So for example, if you're getting a carpool request, you can accept it by an email. So we have a lot of channels that we are working on. And hopefully we want to bridge that you can start from one channel and moving to the other as seamlessly as possible. And you will see more and more features going on into that area. And our main focus in general is on planning on the web, actually. Mainly because we believe that as a product, when you use the desktop application, or desktop or laptop or a regular computer, you have a lot of space, and that's a good place to actually to use the web. And from there, you have a different experience other than a mobile. You're planning when you're in the office or when you're at home, not on the go, actually. So moving on. I want to show you a few of the, actually all of the team actually is here, except for one person that is new. So my name is Ran Davidovich, you know me already. Our team is actually divided into several sub-squads or team. Each squad or team has a separate ownership of components, an application, and also have different KPIs, key performance indicators that they work to optimize over time. So starting from left to right, we have first the Webpool squad. Webpool actually focus on Carpool Web. They created the Apple's activation, if you know, and I'll show you that application later on. Their main focus is Carpool Web. All the experience for the rider on the Carpool side, on the web, it's their ownership, and they're working very hard on that. Maybe also we'll create a poll on who is actually using that later on. Moving to the right, we have the WebEx Core squad. WebEx Core is actually web experience core squad. They are focused mainly on Livemap, which hopefully you use. It's an amazing experience, allowing you to actually search for venues and addresses and locations, see the map, plan on the web, and later on you will see that we are targeting more and more features as we progress over time. Moving to the other team, we have the growth squad. Specifically, we have one member from my team there that actually focus on a wide variety of interaction and ability to grow, to create growth. So for example, if there will be any kind of operation on the scoreboard or any kind of integration with Moveit as an example, growth squad will actually take that initiative and execute it, bringing as much people as possible over time. And last, we have the Crows team that are focusing mainly on Waze.com, mostly on the marketing agenda that you see there, and also several of the mobile web pages, and I'll have a separate slide on that to show what I mean. Because when you go to the application, you might not know, but part of the screens that you see on the application, on the mobile application, are actually coming from the website. Moving on. So I want to share with you a glimpse of what of several of the applications that we have and some cool features that we have that hopefully you use. So starting with Livemap. I wanted to do a video, but I chose just to use a static slide because it was easier and less faulty. So Livemap is actually the web application that you can use from your desktop or also from the mobile if you don't have any application. You can search for addresses, search for venues, everything that you can actually do with that from searching perspective, you can do in here, actually most of it. Most of it. You can drill into the data. You can see that when you choose, let's say, for example, a venue, you will get a very rich set of information on that venue. For example, the open, close hour, on-site services, the link, phone, and some more information. For example, photos, and a couple of items that are very important for people that are searching or planning a ride is actually to see nearby venues if you want to reach different location. And also, we indicate other places that people have searched. And we use it because we want to create a good experience for a person that comes to the site. But also think of it that when we index everything and everything is found in Google, and when you search, let's say, for example, Empire State Building, you will see it in Google, you can click on it, and you will have more items to actually move on the search. It's called SEO. When you go to the Livemap itself, other than searching for the venue and address, we actually want you to use it for the planning side. For example, you can have directions, and we are going to enhance more and more this area. For example, now you can choose that you want to leave now, as an example, and you will see all the different routes that we have, which actually is the optimal one. But you can say that you want to arrive by, and choose the date that you want to arrive and the time, and you will see, very similar to the mobile application, you will see the traffic, the estimated traffic or expected traffic during that time, and you can take conscious calls on when to leave your home. After you finish of creating a planned drive, for example, which is also in the future, you can share it to your mobile application and actually start your drive. And I'll show you another feature very soon of how we are actually hope to create an easier experience in that mode. So send to phone today, you see a QR image, you scan it with your mobile application, it opens on the Waze application, and you can continue from there. And we actually connected the application and the web experience in an easy way. Connected device is an amazing feature that we released, I think, a few weeks ago, or maybe, I think a few weeks ago, maybe a bit more than that. It's the stepping stone for a lot of more features in the future. Essentially, what it allows you, instead of connecting today and logging in with your username and password or Google or Facebook account, it allows you to continue with your phone. Actually, you can scan, when you log in, you can scan the image, very similar to how you forward a navigation to your phone, to your Waze application, and you can connect with your actually Waze app or your Carpool app. And essentially, it's one. You don't need to enter anything. You just approve in the app that it's you that actually tries to log in. And after a few seconds, you're logged in, and you can continue with your entire experience. And the nice thing about it that once we have a connection, think about it, what we want to do is that we actually want to allow very seamless experience. So for example, we want to, in the future, share everything between the web and the mobile. For example, you want to do a planned drive and just save it to your preferences or future drives, and without any QR code. You can just save it and it will pop up in your application and in future state and every other feature that we have. That's called an omnichannel solution. You can start from one place, continue to the other, and go back into the first if you want in the future. Moving on to the Carpool web, specifically on the rider side. So I'm not sure if anyone here is actually using Carpool or is a rider actually, but what we have created is a Carpool rider web application that allows you to actually do majority of the stuff that you want to as a rider. For example, you can see all of your weekly time slots. You can edit everything inside the web very easily and very quickly. You can choose very easily your drives that you see. For example, you can request a drive or accept a drive very easily on the web interface. You can update your time slot. Every time slot or every request that you have, you can update the pickup and drop off of the person that actually suggested very easily. You'll see everything, all the changes immediately of what it means and how to walk, how much time to walk actually. And because it's the web experience, we have a lot of real estate. And over time, we'll enhance more and more, and we'll take more advantage of the size. But because it's a web, so what we can do, we can allow you to see almost anything or everything that you have for that carpool information in one shot. So for example, you see all the location. By the way, you see a very nasty pickup and drop off. It's an internal information. You don't see that long text, of course, but you can see the basic information of the route, pickup, drop off. You can see the actual an image of what it means, where to pick up and drop off. Just before, let's say you leave your work or your home, very easily you can see everything. You can see the price, set it up, and so on. And you can send a chat or some kind of chat using SMS. It's not the chat that you know from the mobile web, a mobile app at this point. So moving on to the appless activation, which is actually an amazing solution. Hopefully you'll agree with me. It allows you, why we did it actually before we start. So creating the first ride, it's not easy. You need to download the Carpool rider application. You need to have the intent to do it. So you need a very energized person to come and actually request a ride. And sometimes creating it with the app, it's a friction that you want to reduce. So for example, we created the appless activation, which is actually create the first ride, Carpool ride as a rider, without an application, as the name says. It's a free ride, for example. It allows you very easily to choose your pickup and drop off, the day, time. When you press the next, it will allow you to see several options, assuming that you will also validate your information, of course, and put some very basic information, the bare minimum that requires from security perspective, of course, and to be actually getting any approval from the ride. Because, for example, if you don't have an image, people might not approve you. So we do allow you to put the image. And essentially, just do it. And think about it that because it's a web application, you don't need like a mobile application. You can create a link to that site. Let's say you are in a very big audience that you have like a conference, and you can just put a link, a QR code on the right, a very big one. And you can say everyone that wants to ride home, just scan the QR code and you're ready to go with your free first ride. Pretty neat. It was an amazing solution. This solution also indirectly is being used for the Move It integration, or part of it actually. Move It integration is an amazing growth experience that we take the Move It people and actually connect them to the Waze Carpool. It's another way to bring more and more people to the solution, and why not? Shared Drive, I put it here. You might not see a difference, but behind the scene we did a lot. So Shared Drive, it's a web link at the end of the day that when you start a drive, you can actually share your drive with other parties. If it's an SMS, a WhatsApp, or whatever, the link that the person gets, if he has Waze and he'll open the link, he will open it in Waze and see the information in real time for the drive that you're actually driving. I'm using this feature every time. For example, on Fridays when I'm driving to my parents' house or my wife's parents, we drive from the house, we just send everything, we share it, and no more questions. People know where we are when we are arriving. It's easier on the road. But the nice thing about this solution that even if you don't have the Waze application, and several people still don't have the Waze application, let's say like my grandma, for example. So, and my wife, grandma, she doesn't have any Waze because she doesn't need it currently, but we allow her to actually open the link even without Waze and see a very, very good experience in a web interface that is updated every, I think, half a minute or 1 minute or 1 minute or so, and shows where we are. So even when a person doesn't have Waze, you can actually see what goes on in the ride, and all the information that we have actually exposed to him. And if he wants the application, you can just click and get it from here. So motivation is to share as much as we can, and also if you can onboard more people, then why not? But the experience is amazing. Also, my team handles several of the mobile web pages. And mobile web pages, I'll give you as an example of a few of them. So for example, we have the scoreboard. So scoreboard, I'm not sure if you know, but it's not a native mobile page. It's actually a web view page, which means that my team actually owns it. Behind the scene, what it allows us is we can experiment very quickly with that page. We can create a very quick updates if needed, which is amazing experience for you and everyone that actually won't need a change. We actually also own the Waze groups or teams. Behind the scene, we have the notification preferences and few more pages that are actually mobile web page. So if we did a good job, you don't know it's your web page. And if less, then we need to do better over time. And that's it for now. Also, I didn't show, but Waze.com, I didn't want to show. I think that you know it, but Waze.com, I'm not talking about the editor and the ads and other applications that we don't know, but mainly the Waze.com marketing side. My team owns, and you can go inside and give us feedback if you want. We'll highly appreciate it. And that's mainly what very high level what we do. And hopefully you can go to the questions and answers.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few already. But before we do that, I would like to remind everyone that Ran really wanted to help hear your feedback regarding your use of the Livemap. So please see that you have a different tab today showing that it says polls. And please tell us in which frequency or how often you use the Livemap. All right, so I think we are ready to start answering the questions. As I said, we have already a few of them, and I know that Dalia has helped me handling the questions that are not directly related to Ran's scope. So you might see them. You might see Dalia helping me answering them in writing. All right, so please, guys, stop upvoting, as we said, because we're gonna start reading the questions now. So the first question is from Cal, and he says, "Is there any possibility of associating the reporting tool with the Livemap to facilitate the handling of this tool? Obviously, for those of us who have access to the tool."
It's a good question. It actually was raised, I think, before, also in Miami. The reporting tool, actually, we don't own it, but I do agree that we have something that we can actually take inside Livemap, and even more in the future. I can take it with the product. It's a good item.
Right.
But I agree that we need to reduce the number of tools that we have and actually have more features on top of tools that we have.
Definitely. Question from Pastorino Spiderino. Why does the Livemap work quite differently compared to the client? The map design is different, routing behaves differently, and particularly traffic jams are displayed totally simplified there. Are there any plans to unify them?
So in general, we do want to create as much good experience between the two applications, for sure. By the way, I just want to know that we had a very big concern previously that Livemap tiles, the map that you see was off between the mobile application and actually the Livemap. And it was a bug that actually multiple bugs that were worked for several days and weeks since my last meetup in Miami. So hopefully it should actually be much better now, which means that if we're making any changes, it should be live very quickly on Livemap. But it's not the same application. As much as we want to make it the same, it's not the same. For example, it might be that on the desktop side, Livemap, you will have better experience in different things that you see on the mobile application. From a routing perspective, we are doing some stuff behind the scene that will actually make it even more aligned on what we have today. And once we have the connection with the user, we can take advantage of all of the information that as a user you actually are, the type of vehicle and so on. So in time, we'll see more and more alignment between the two applications, and maybe even more in the web.
And we can already see the comment about it from Alex that Livemap tiles are so much better lately. So if you have any feedback,
that's great to hear that. Only today, by the way, I heard how many people are working behind the scene to make it right. So it was, I'll tell them, they'll be very happy. They're working very hard on that.
All right, next question. It's from Lee. Can the functionality to test the Livemap in different modes, for example, using a specific vehicle or routing server to make it easier instead of requiring us to type the code?
So in general, what we try to do, we need to separate between, we had this question also before, by the way. So in my previous discussion with the product, and I can raise it again, the focus in Livemap specifically, without any tweaks or commanded parameters and so on for the advanced users, is that actually once you're connected with your user, then you have all the information. We don't need to invent anything. We just can take that information and use it. But I'm guessing this question is more on the advanced side for people that edit the map and they want to see it in Livemap with specific cars, I'm assuming. So let me take an action item with that because we do also love our map editing community and we want to help them do it better. So I'll take an action item on that.
Next question is from Victor. Will passes be included in the Livemap as a selectable options for standard users? Currently, the routes avoid highways where a pass is required.
So I need to take it also. But again, I really want to note that as I see it, and because we want to create an omnichannel solution, we have to invest something on that to make it more aligned. So put an item on that, of course.
Aside. Then next question from Jorge. Why don't you use the Waze map instead of Google Maps in the Riders app?
What does it mean?
Like it's about the Rider app, the Carpool Rider app. I'm not entirely sure that it's related to your domain, but he's saying that we actually use the Google Maps for the Rider app instead of using the Waze map.
I don't know about it. Sorry.
Okay, so we will investigate and include it in the follow-up or market archive it. The next one is from Fernando. Is it possible to trace your own path for trip road on the Livemap and then send it to the mobile?
So what we can is that we have the trip. We can actually share the information with the mobile and continue from the mobile. But I'm not sure if that actually answers the question. I'm not sure if it answers. If it's actually create a planned drive and share it to the mobile application, then you can share it today with the QR code. And in the future, we ought to actually, because we connect with the mobile, you can just save it as a future drive.
Mm-hmm. So Fernando, if you can clarify to us or like to include more information in your question, we appreciate it. Next question is
I think that maybe he's talking about creating like drawing. Maybe he's talking about drawing a path, and that we don't have.
For trip road and send it to mobile, like the same route, I guess, like to be able to send a specific route to mobile. Anyway, like if you can clarify us, Fernando, will really appreciate it. Santiago, is it possible to make a Waze group only for the editor community, like one per country community or something similar? I guess he's talking about the groups feature that you presented.
In the group, we are not owning the creation of groups, only the application itself. So it's a question of who's actually creating groups today, if it's users or maybe community manager, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. We can take it like, well, you can send it to your coordinators and we can take it between the community managers and bring an answer to that one. Next question is from Vladislav. Is there a new POI searchable in the Livemap and Waze app at once?
I need some clarification on that. I'm not really sure what it means.
Okay. So, Vladi, if you can also send us a more like a question containing more information for Ran, that will be great. I'll skip it for the time being and go to George's question. And when do you expect to release the web version of Carpool for drivers?
Okay, first, it makes me very happy that people ask for new applications. So thank you. I don't know. I can take it with product if it's on their agenda. I don't know. The focus currently is on the rider side. A lot of focus.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll include it also in the follow-up. Question from Santiago. The share a drive expires after the time, or the share a drive expires after a time, or should I always perform an action to do that?
So in general, when you share a drive for the period of the drive, it's there. After the drive is finished, it's gone, and you cannot use that link anymore.
It's expired. Mm-hmm. All right. Question from Wilfred. Irregular traffic based on Livemap is working now. I use this link, we can check it later, to manually seek traffic jams. I took screenshots and share on our social media channels, but would be nice a better or easier way to do that. Maybe generate a URL to share.
Okay, so I think we can take it also with the product, mainly about the use case. You know that we have a lot of requests from many people, and it's really great. It's always the question is, what's the motivation? What's the value for the end user? What's the value for Waze itself? What you can actually use it and enhance it over time. Personally, on myself, I don't like too many tools. I prefer always to have like a single page that I can join in and maybe see more overlay of features. But that's me.
Yeah, if you can, like Wilfred, if you can include or reach out to your community manager and include perhaps like a kind of a use case or how like a big mass or relatively considerable big mass of Waze users would use this feature, so that would really help us to consider this feature. Next question is from Carlos. Can the Livemap show more than 3 routes option and give extra data about why the worst options are ignored? For example, straight routes versus long detours, too much traffic, etc.
So currently we don't show more than the regular numbers. Interesting to see if people actually use it, I would say in general. So it's a good question. As for why we actually ignoring a route, we don't provide that information today, but I think we can understand with product if that's something that we see a lot question from the community.
Mm-hmm. So we basically offer the same amount of routes as in mobile.
I think 3 or 4 is the one. I think mobile maybe have 4 if I'm not mistaken.
Let's go to the next one from Richard. Will we ever be able to share our drive through other methods than Facebook?
You mean share drive? Well, the question is when you're planning a drive in Livemap or something differently on the map itself when you share?
I think that he means like our drive, so I would imagine that he thought that you like someone's current drive somewhere.
So in general today, at least I have an Android and using mobile app. When I'm driving, I can share in every channel that I have. If it's an SMS, literally everything. So maybe a bit more clarification there, or maybe after the drive. So a bit more information, and I'll be able to answer.
Yeah. So if you can send it to us, Richard, we'll appreciate it. We have another question from Boyan. Do you know about Livemap display problem for 90 degrees angles of one segment, and do you have a plan to fix it? If we want to have those displayed properly, we have to add a second vertex and make it a 45-degree angle. Is this something you know about, Ram?
So personally, myself, I don't know about it specifically, but I'm sure that something was raised at any point. I suggest to take it with all of the information and details, and if there's a bug on that, we need to address it.
There's probably, like if Boyan's recording, I'm sure that there's a center code bag, so that so if Boyan could send it to your community manager, so that we can check what the status is, it will be great. So this is a different, like it is a different question, but it's similar to the one that was asked by Victor before. Is it planned that Livemap will support passes? For example, Austria vignette or German Plaquette. I hope I was pronouncing it right.
So I think it's very similar to the last questions. The question is, are we going to support, passes? That's one item. And for the other specific passes, I'm not sure what they are myself. But again, if we have support, then there's no reason to have differentiation. So over time, we need to support things that we have in the mobile. Hopefully, as fast as we can.
We have a clarification from Fernando about his question. It is to be able to pick different segments to build up his own route as GM goes. You don't only choose start and end points, but you can move nodes in between to other routes of users' interest.
I got it. So no, I'm not aware of any feature that we have on the pipeline. So no.
But it, like, I would like I will make sure to write it down, Fernando, as a suggestion. But like also, if you haven't done so until now, I would also recommend it to open a feature request in center code.
Yeah, and I do want to know that plenty of good features and questions are raised. So just when you raise them, try to focus also on the motivation of what you want to gain from it, other than the regular feature. What problem it will solve, because it's easier to discuss problems that we solve and motivations. Maybe there are other ways.
Right. Yeah, I must say that I kind of can understand what Fernando's aiming at, like to go through. Like I don't have a specific stopover that I want to know, but I know that a specific route. Like, although this is not for a behavior of like commute from work to home, but like if you're touring through somewhere and you know that there's a way that it's more touristic or there's more attractions there, so that you would be able to move the. But I think that it would be a good suggestion for us to analyze if Fernando can open a feature request. Next question is from Lubin. Could you display gas prices on the live map?
It's a good feature. Again, what I like about several questions I see that they are aligned to planning, because when you plan, you want to have as much information as you have in advance, because you're planning, you're not driving. So it's a good one. Also, we'll take a look for that.
Thank you, Lubin. Question from Peter. Is it planned that the live map will support pass out? Sorry, that's one I already read. Question from Mustafa. Like in live map, we can see elevation. Why don't we have in client app? I guess that he's mentioning that in the live map you can see the like certain elevation, but why not taking that information to the client?
So I don't know. I can't answer that. I think again a feature or a question that goes to the relevant application, if it's mobile client in that case.
Okay, so we can take it with them, Mustafa. Just make sure that that you also add a feature request incentive code so that we can the community managers and the better team can channel them to the right team. Next question is from Shahram. Why live map and reporting tool maps why the maps of both live map and reporting tool don't match? I guess that's the question.
I actually expect them to match. So maybe we have a bug, or maybe more information that we can actually see an example and we'll check it.
All right, so they should map. So to provide us an example in
good review.
Great. All right, next question, and I remind everyone to avoid app voting. Question from Alex. Just like to voice my support of social features to operate without a Facebook connection, many users are reluctant to connect Facebook or don't use it at all. So I'm going to allow this app vote because it's a clarification from a question before. So that's basically like, it's possible that in order to share, you need to connect with Facebook?
So it's maybe something that I'm missing. So maybe let's take it offline. So a bit more like example, a picture or something, and I'll give an answer. Probably I'm missing something.
All right, so I'm taking it, I'm putting it aside to be able to follow up on our floor. Not a question from Jose, but it seems that you have removed the splash screen that appeared every time you refresh the live map screen. Applause, clap about that. Yes, very annoying indeed. So
we'll bring it back.
Please clarify that they're not going to bring it back, because otherwise the community managers will hear about it. Juan Carlos Ortiz, this is not a question, but the live map at in Spanish language shows missing translation for traffic light broken. So I think that this question might be more relevant to Tamar, who manages the localization team, so that she can check with product who is actually in charge of opening this string to translation. Another question, a clarification actually from Vladislav. If a new point type POI is created in WME, is it searchable in the live map and Waze app right after the creation, or only after the daily map update? I guess the title.
Okay, so it's I got it. So when you add more information, how much time it passes until it actually be able to being searched. So I want to note something that in Livemap, when you do the search, you actually search, we search Google autocomplete. That's what we actually search autocomplete to see, and we enrich it with Waze information. So for the time that passes between adding and ability to search, I take an action item, how much time it is. If it's an hour, a day, or 2, or whatever it is, I'll get an answer on it. Because we enrich data.
Great. So, like, just for you to guys to know what happens when we finish an office hours, we obtain a transcript of all of your questions, and we work with them to like internally, and ultimately we send you a follow-up. So don't worry. Everything you write is, and especially everything that you write at the Q&A section, you can. We have been able to follow up, and they're not. Don't think that they're gone with the wind. How can I create a group in Waze? Asks Luis Fernando.
I'm not sure if there is a permission that a set of people can actually do it. I think it was created originally from Go's perspective, so they actually created in advanced groups. I'm not sure if we have any support page on that. We can maybe search and provide that information.
Right.
And also, when creating a group, it will be interesting the usage. Again, it's a feature, right? People can create groups with the level of permission, of course.
Mm-hmm. Next question is from Jose Valdo. In the Livemap, the average speed appears in some points indicating slowness. Is this according to the current data or calculation memory for the track history?
I don't know. I can actually check. You get the question. We get everything from the routing information. It's not something that my team actually does behind the scene. We request a route and get all the information. So it's actually, what do we see there in general? That's the question. So I'll take an action item.
All right, so we can put them aside. Leo, Livemap only give you Google Map results. Will it be possible now to navigate to Waze places, Waze house numbers, for example, and to see the difference between the results taken from Google Maps or Waze?
Give me 1 second. So what we do in general, we take the Google data and we enrich it with Waze information. So it's partially. But interesting to see what's the difference. Again, what's the motivation here? Are we trying to see map fixes, or I'm not sure what's the actual motivation to better understand?
No, I think that if I may, like, I think that the motivation here is to be able to search as well, to obtain and to navigate results that come from places that have been created in Waze, in the Waze editor itself, and not to rely entirely on Google Maps.
So in the future, we do want to actually combine the two. That's on the future. I don't have a due date for that, but we do want to have it.
But it's somewhere in our roadmap, right?
Currently, it's Google based and enriched with Waze information where we can.
Right. Right. Question from Javier. Is it possible to add the option to choose the street side when adding an alert in reporting tool? I'm reminding Javier that the reporting tool is not a tool directly under RAN's scope. If you know anything about it, like, of course, like RAN, feel free to add, but we might need to be able to take this with the reporting tool and the tool that actually manages this tool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it aside and tag the group that is in charge of the reporting tool. I didn't mark this one as replied already. Next question, I think that it's the most important question of the night. Ivan Bailey, do you plan to digitize this taxi block tokens behind you?
The reason I'm laughing because this is the room that actually I was grown at. It's my parents' house. It's not my house. I have kids, so I can only walk not at my house. So good eye. Who knows? I left my father.
It's COVID collateral damage, I guess.
Yeah, we are all a virtual family
now. Next question from Richard. Clarification to the current Android app. When I choose to share my drive, the only thing that comes up is to log in to Facebook to share to share it with Facebook friends. But you're actually, Richard, talking about the app and not, it's something that it's done in the app, that it's not under run scope. But if you know, of course, anything about it, Ran, please go ahead.
No, I don't know. I think that this share, if I'm not mistaken, is it's like a social share that you want to promote and grow for ways rather than to actually provide data for other people. So again, I think that we should take it with the app team. The interesting part is that it's growth, and growth is important because we want to have more and more people on board.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put it aside for the follow-up. And the next question is from Antoine. Login on WME is not working. It opened a tab. I enter my account information, and then the tab closed, and WME is still in the login page. Sounds like some sort of a bug. I'm not sure if it is a known bug. Do you know anything about it, Ron?
I'm not aware of an active bug. It should be working. So just to open a ticket on that, and people will review it, of course.
Yeah, it sounds like something that our support team will be able to answer. So please, Antoine, contact them, and if you need any help, of course, our community managers, your community managers are always available. But the first POC, it's basically our support team, so that they can check it. I think that this is the last question from Boyan. There is a problem in ways with searching street numbers and Cyrillic letters in them, which also applies to the live maps. Are there any updates on that? I exchanged information that with Hezi already. It sounds to me like something specific, and that Hezi might be more updated about, because it's Cyrillic and special characters. But still, if you have anything, any information about it, Ran?
I don't know. We need to check. Again, there's something that I'm not aware, but it doesn't mean that people are not aware and maybe are also fixing, or maybe it's in the future. So I think we should take better understand what's the issue.
I know for a fact, Boyan, that it's something we're checking, because I've heard about it from Adas in the past, but now of course Hezi is handling it. So my advice would be to check for updates with Hezi, and of course he will work internally with Ran and our entire team to be able to find a solution for that. We have another question from Brent. Are there any plans to bring turn-by-turn instructions back to Livemap? It was a very useful troubleshooting tool for map editors.
I'm not aware of plans, but again, we can raise it and see how it collides with the future features that we have. I do want to note that also when I've been in Miami, it's amazing to see that the Livemap, people that use Livemap, the regular people that just want to plan and drive, and they are the editor community that want to check what they did, which is interesting. It's two different cases, both are very important, of course. So we can review it with product.
That's great. Before we go, and I think that's all of our questions, please don't go, please don't leave us yet, because we have a survey, a short survey that will appear in your screen in the next few seconds. I want to say that this time we have included the link so that you can already register for the next session that it's going to be in 2 weeks from now. A little secret, it's going to be about branding, and we might have great news for you. So please go ahead and register in the survey page that it's going to appear in your screen as soon as we close the webinar. I want to thank everyone for having joined us today. It was great to see everyone. I want to especially thank Ran. Ran, if you have any last words for the community.
No, thank you very much for joining. It was really my pleasure. It's I think my first webinar, so milestone.
Yeah. So we wish everyone to keep safe under these irregular times. So we're finishing the webinar, but as I said, please, guys, stay on the page. Your feedback is super important to us. So register for the next webinar, which is going to be in 2 weeks, and please answer that small survey. Wishing you all a great day and keep safe. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.